Okay, hello Helen. Thanks so much for coming today again.
Hi, John. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a pleasure sharing with you.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. So, I understand that you're very busy today as well. So, I wanted to very quickly ask you to introduce yourself. Like, tell us a bit more about what you do.
What do I do? A lot of things. Maybe professionally, I'm a financial planner with AIA for the last 21 years.
Wow.
Time flies. I've been with them for 21 years. And of course, on the side, I do other social work with maybe the rough sleepers, with those at the homes, the Cheshire home, which I adopt. And of course, with families that need some help with maybe daily necessities, rice, oil, canned food, and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's on the side. But of course, I'm a mother of three. And actively contributing to the community that I work with on the spiritual side of things. So there are many caps that I wear, but I think I enjoy every bit of it.
Yeah, sure. That's great. So today, Helen, we were just interested to hear about your thoughts about retirement planning, especially for young people, which I know is something that's very close to your heart, especially when you have 3 daughters as well, who are all young people. I mean, let's start with some of the challenges and problems you see in financial management for millennials today. I mean, what are some challenges you see?
I think the very first thing I feel is the issue, the core issue is that a lot of the millennials think that if they don't plan, no worries. The parents will always have backups for them. So this is something which I feel I have also kind of gone wrong as my girls were growing up. I always assure them that don't worry, if you got any financial issues, please don't go and take a loan. Mommy and daddy has plans for you and all that. So I think as parents, we have assured them too much that the millennials always think that never mind, their parents to fall back on. I said this not because based on my own goals, but I think I talk to many parents and the millennials, and that's what they say. They said, never mind, if I need to get married, I can borrow money from my parents. If I need to buy a car, I can get a loan from my parents, but maybe don't need to pay back because my parents say it can be a gift. You know, that kind of thing. Or even some of them started off with having their own cars. So to them, it's no worries because retirement is like a number very far away from them. 55 is a very far away number. But, little that they know that actually when you're 25 and then reaching 55, although it's the 30 year, sometimes we procrastinate so much that we forget that, the days are just very, very near. So I think it's really part of it is because the parents tell them that don't need to plan. So it's more of the mentality that stops them from planning because they think that it's too far away. So other than that, I think also because the affluence of people, they feel that don't plan today, it's okay because my income is so big a number. So don't have to worry today don't plan, tomorrow still can plan, and tomorrow don't plan, the day after we can plan. So they procrastinate so much that they think they have all the money, but little do they know that they actually spend more than they earn because a lot of them, they heavily leverage on credit cards and even on those interest-free loan and things like that. Yeah, so I guess it's the mindset to begin with.
Okay, so you talk a lot about this mindset that there's always another day. I mean, for millennials, then why should they plan right now?
Well, I think retirement doesn't come cheap today as compared to maybe my parents' day. So if they compare themselves to my parents, they are 2 generations away. So those days, people are a lot more hands-on, very skill-based. So they don't have to worry that there is no job for them even when they grow old, because people need their skills. But today we depend a lot on technology, and with all the different trainings out there like SG, a lot of the SG initiative by the government, where people get trained and all that. I think jobs are really no longer what they call the iron rice bowl anymore. Our parents, my parents, they work at one job for their whole lifetime. So they can always have like a buffer time to plan, because they know they'll be on the job. But these days, with the economic cycle being so erratic, people lose their jobs anytime. Like even sad to say, some of my colleagues who have been with the company for a while now, due to the pandemic, we have to actually kind of restructure. So their jobs went. And they've been with the business for like maybe in the job for about a good 10, 15 years. They were asked to leave. So if you don't plan now, how do you know that tomorrow you'll still have that, your so-called iron rice bowl? Even when you are in the ministries and all, or in civil service, how do you know that your job is irreplaceable, or you're indispensable, or you will have that job forever? So I think we need to plan, because we really don't know what tomorrow holds, given that the pandemic has shown us that anything can happen. So like, we thought we are over circuit breaker. We are very safe. Now we are back to phase 2 from phase 3. So we don't know what tomorrow holds. Maybe the government after tomorrow says, oh, let's have circuit breaker. Or we may have a total lockdown, worse than circuit breaker, we don't know. So I always say that the fact that it's no longer iron rice bowl, and also at the same time, the economic cycle is very different today. I think it is really today that we've got to start planning. And retirement isn't really cheap anymore. If I compare those days when my parent bought a 4-room flat, they keep telling me, wow, it's very expensive, no? 79,800. That was in 1984. A 4-room, 110 square meter HDB on a 10th floor. Now, if you look at, I've got a friend who recently bought a flat in Bishan BTO. He pays close to 580,000 for a 90 square meter, 18 floor unit in Bishan. So how many folds? So it's like 580 compared to 80,000. So we are looking at what, 7 times? But will your salary grow 7 times over a period of like 30 years? Let's be realistic about things. We don't know how much a bowl of chicken rice would cost in 20 years' time. So why not plan for that plate of chicken rice now? Because if you want to retire, then you do not want to compromise, or you do not want to really downgrade your retirement lifestyle to one that is from a plate of chicken rice to maybe a bowl of plain porridge. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe a bowl of sweet potato porridge, and that's about it. Yeah. So that's one thing I think we got to also plan. And another thing is, I think a lot of millennials today, when you talk to them, you ask them, how are you going to retire? Guess the number. Guess the number.
I don't know.
You want to make a guess?
Maybe like 52. Okay.
Some are telling me they want to retire as young as 40 years old.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to retire at 40, what do you think you should do now? It doesn't mean that if you stay on your job for maybe if you have a good boss or a stable job, and you stay in a job for 10 years, your salary will multiply so fast that you get to retire at 40. I mean, how many people can retire at 40? Yeah, I mean, unless you strike lottery lah, or maybe your windfall from Toto.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but if not, then maybe it's time to think about retirement planning.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know, right? This is important because retirement is not cheap, and retirement requires a lot of money, and that's why we should start actually planning right now, especially if we want to retire at something like 40. I mean, what for you are some useful principles for millennials looking to plan for that?
First thing first, I think a lot of our millennials, they have parents who are educated. Okay, I wouldn't say all, but maybe a good percentage, maybe about 70 to 80% of the parents are educated. So their parents may have gotten them their financial plans in perspective. That means they would have planned for them maybe a little saving, and then at the same time maybe some coverage on for premature death or total permanent disability or critical illness. But of course, when the parents bought the plans those days when they were younger, maybe certain riders or certain plans are redundant in today's context because the coverage would have changed over a period of like 20, 25 years. So first thing first is look at those plans first. Do a so-called review, okay, at the plans that the parents have bought, because if they are planning for retirement now and they don't have a backup on their basic coverage like hospitalization or even an accident plan or their total permanent disability and critical illness coverage. Imagine if any unforeseen circumstances like an accident happened to make them like bedridden or even wheelchair bound, then how does retirement plan fall into place? So it is better to look at what they have as a basic coverage first, and then do retirement planning. So if all their basic coverage, like for hospitalization and accident, total permanent disability, critical illness, and all that are already taken care of, then they can look at retirement planning in with a clearer mindset lah. Because if not, then imagine if, let's say, I'm diagnosed with critical illness, I can't work anymore, right? But I don't have any coverage for critical illness. So that is already in itself a problem. How do you think I have enough money to save for retirement? But if, let's say, I have an accident and maybe I have to amputate my leg, I'm wheelchair bound. But if I have a payout, like maybe half a meal, I don't have to worry about my living standards. I still can use some money that, maybe I work in a smaller, maybe a simpler job, but yet I still have money to save for retirement. Because having amputated legs doesn't mean that I will die tomorrow. I may live until age 80 or even 90. And that's where I need money to survive for my retirement days. So my advice is to get the basic plans in place first. Make sure that they are sufficient to meet your needs before you go into retirement planning.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's good advice. So get the basics right first in terms of coverage and protection. Then what is the next step for millennials?
Then if, let's say, they do have so-called a form of for savings or money that they put aside regularly, but not in a very so-called organized manner. Like, because I've got millennials who told me, I actually put aside $300. Some say I put aside $1,000 every month. But some months, when I feel like buying a bag, then I just take all the money and buy a bag lah. So I say, huh? It says, yeah. Then I got to, kind of pamper myself once a year on my birthday. So I get myself a Chanel bag, or I get myself a maybe LV bag. Then I say, then where's the savings? Start saving again, no? If you have that kind of lifestyle, or like some boys, they say, oh, I saw that watch. Actually, I kind of like it, and I bought one just 2 months ago. How much is that watch? $12,000. What? So then where's the savings? The watch law. So if you have that kind of pattern, maybe you want to tell yourself that you can still have that luxury of buying yourself something which you want to pamper yourself, you think you deserve. Sure. I mean, I respect that. But at the same time, put aside a so-called reasonable amount. Like maybe if you put aside $300 a month for your holiday, well, now maybe not holiday, but maybe a gift that you want to reward yourself. Let me put $300. Then maybe you would like to set aside $150 to plan for retirement, and then the $150 for pampering yourself lah. You know what I'm saying? So at least you know that you still have some money so-called stashed aside if any eventuality strikes. Yeah. So that's what I call prudence. And of course, I won't tell you that you have 300. Please give $300 to retirement planning. Then you say, wow, then I cannot even buy a nice wallet for myself, or I cannot buy that very good that maybe that belt that I've been looking out for, or I cannot buy myself a very nice bag to show off to my friend and all that. I think all these shouldn't be compromised, but it can be worked out in a more so-called logical manner, more rational manner. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second step. Is there a third step for you? Like after basic protection, savings fund, is there a third step where millennials can do?
I think they should also go into investments. Take their little money and do investment. Maybe I'm not a guru in Bitcoin and or your whatever currency that you have. But I think a little bit of investment would go a long way. Because a lot of people, they say, maybe I save $500 a year. How to go into investment? You'll be surprised. Now you can open an account doing your cryptocurrency investment or your Bitcoin investment in amounts like $50, $100 regularly, and you'll be surprised. I've got a friend who told me she started sometime in January this year. She put in an amount of about $7,000. It has since grown to about $12,000. You know what I mean? So you can do a little bit of investment in that manner, but of course, please don't follow the crowd. Read more. Technology is so advanced. You go and click on Alibaba, you get Alibaba. You click on AIA, you get AIA. You click on maybe Mercer, you get some Mercer funds, that kind of thing. You click on anything Tesla, you know what Tesla is doing. You click on Microsoft, you know how Microsoft is doing and all that. So I guess whatever we want to invest in, have a heart to do it, because it is what we are doing for our future. So basically do your homework, invest a little bit, although you may be planning for retirement. So retirement planning can come in a form of a regular savings in terms of endowment planning. At the same time, it can be also an investment plan to go along. So don't put your eggs in one basket, just putting it in insurance or putting it in an investment plan, but do it in different formats, in different forms. Like you can put it in the banks for liquidity. You can put into endowment plan for protection, and then where you can be guaranteed returns, or you can even put in an investment fund with a insurer, or put it in cryptocurrency. You can buy a little bit of shares and all that. I think it comes in different forms. So just do your homework and see what your risk appetite is, and then from there know yourself a little bit more. about what your risk appetite is and how long a time horizon you have. Because liquidity also means, which is also important at the same time, it's essential when you consider which form you want to go into. Because some people may be planning for marriage, in 2 years' time. Some people will plan for marriage in 10 years' time. Some people will buy a house, big house, small house. So really depends on your own needs, basically. But look at it from all angles. Discuss with your planner, discuss with your other half. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's really great advice. Thanks, Helen. So, I mean, before we ended, were there other things that you wanted to add that I didn't ask today?
What is it that let me ponder a bit. I think you have more or less covered,
Yep.
but I think most importantly,
Mm-mm.
we all should, first thing first, ask ourselves what is the purpose of all this planning?
Mm.
Because it shouldn't be about saving money, as the reason why. Because when you say you want to save the money, what is the real purpose? Just like
Mm-mm.
when the people say, "Oh, you should quit smoking." Why do you need to quit smoking? Is it because you have parents at home, or is it because you're getting married and your girlfriend says, "If you continue smoking, I will just walk out of you," or is it really for yourself? So I think we need to find a purpose in what we do, so that we'll do it better. So find the reason, the bigger reason why you need to plan, and then you will carry on doing it. I know it's a struggle having to put aside money. Like you cannot spend, you have the urge to spend, but you cannot spend. Or like,
Yeah.
but I got money with AIA, I got money with Prudential, I got money with Great Eastern, but I cannot spend. Then you feel that every month you got to put aside that money, it's a lot of pain. But look at it from the bigger picture. When you are 45 and you're 50, you are so-called debt-free. You have a sum of money waiting for you, and you can do things more meaningful in your life. Then maybe you want to serve the community, or you want to go on a backpack holiday, helping out in other countries, like the World Vision, or maybe you want to do some spiritual stuff for the community that you serve and all that. So find the bigger so-called desire in your life, and not just because I think I need money. Like what is money to you? Yeah, but of course, I know there are some people who say that it is very difficult to do the numbers. Okay, like, but I don't know, like, my salary, my net salary is maybe take home is 2,500 or it's $4,000, but I really don't know how much I spend on my transport. Because when you sit down with a lot of them, they will tell you, actually, I don't know how much I spend. I only
Okay.
know that whatever is left. Lah. So I think you got really to answer your own questions on how much you spend. Really quite, okay? For God's sake, for whoever's sake, do your numbers. You got to crunch the numbers so that's when reality kicks in. Yeah, because some of us, we don't even give our parents money, but yet we stay with our parents, rent free, utility free, everything free, dinner free, lunch free, breakfast free, everything free. Then when you have to move out of the house to stay on your own, that's when you think, wow, all hell break loose.
Yeah.
Utility bills, my Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
my phone bills, my parents have been paying for me since I was since the start of life until today. I'm 30 years old. My parents are still paying for my, top up or my monthly StarHub bills and all that. These are things that we all got to be, what do you call, truthful to ourselves. Yeah, really sit down and say, if I were paying this on my own, my handphone bills would have been $100. My Netflix, my Shopify account, my whatever account, how much would it be? Because this is reality. You cannot depend on your parents for life. We have ourselves to depend on to see the real numbers. And that's where I think you'll find the real reason why you need to plan now. Because I sit down with a lot of millennials and then they say, "What actually, you just open a whole new can of worms for us." So I hope to be able to do that, to set you all feeling the jitters like, oh shit, I better start planning now. Oh no, this is the real stuff. I mean, reality is just so cruel. It's just so real, like the word reality. Yeah, so get to doing that ASAP, and I think it will serve you well in the end. And if it doesn't, and if it's not the end, that means you got to keep going, keep saving, keep looking at your numbers, keep reviewing your lifestyle, and then to get to the end of it.
Sure. Yeah, thanks so much for that, Helen. That's really helpful. Yeah, thank you.